Hi everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and today is going to be a quickie, but I did not want to miss out this close to the end, because today is the 28th of January for the 31 days of tarot. So we are, after today, there'll be only 3 more days of this. So I definitely could not miss out on it. And the question that we have today is, does anyone you know not agree with your tarot practices? That's a pretty easy one. Most of the people who have watched many of my videos know that I was raised fundamental Baptist. So I certainly still have family members who are of that religious persuasion, and so definitely they would not agree with tarot practices of any kind. There's not really any wiggle room on that one. And it doesn't really go into it. You know, for me, we've talked about this a lot, you know, well, I see this on different forums and things, and just in how you deal with that kind of thing when there are people who don't agree with something that you do. And I personally, I think it's one of those things, if you know you're not going to come to any kind of meeting of the minds on something, I don't think there's a lot of point in trying to push that. It's not something you have to talk about at barbecues. It's not really something that has to be talked about at Thanksgiving dinner. It's just one of those things. I guess I look at it in terms of, if I don't want somebody to proselytize me and try to convert me to something, then I'm not going to do the same thing to try to convert somebody into agreeing with me and with my practices. And what I think with religious people, as well as with this kind of thing, is the best way to do it is just to simply be yourself and kind of be an example of if they think that only crazy, off the deep end people are going to be reading tarot or whatever, then just by being your normal everyday self, I think that is your best thing. And if they approach and ask questions, then that's something that you can answer the questions, but I don't think there's any point in pushing that kind of thing on people who are uncomfortable with it. So I feel like that way about religion as well, and so that's how I would certainly approach people who wouldn't agree with what I was doing with tarot readings, is just to, put it out there if it's out there, but you don't have to talk about this stuff all the time. You can have, family get-togethers without discussing controversial topics, when nobody is going to, if you're not going to have somebody all of a sudden say, oh yeah, what you're doing is great, I'm all for it, or vice versa. If you're talking about some religion that you disagree with, they're not just going to say, oh yeah, I'm on that side where we found a union of minds. If that's not going to happen, then there's no point having big discussions over. We're not going to change anybody's mind. So just kind of be yourself and let it work itself out. So that's what I say to that question. And we, as I said before, only have 3 more days of these questions, and we will be done with what will officially be 2 full months of not missing a day of card readings and or questions. Although December we didn't really have the questions, but we had a card reading every single day for now almost 2 months, which is pretty excited. But I have to admit, I'm looking forward to February. So I know that some of you are out there trying to convince me to do 30 days of Lenormand, or 29 days of February Lenormand for February, but pretty sure that's not going to happen. Now, that could be something that I can do on Instagram or Facebook or my blog, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to convince me to do a 3rd month in a row of this, because I think I could use a break. Not to mention, we have all kinds of great videos that that I keep writing down, videos that you want to see, that once I don't do daily videos, we can get back to regularly scheduled more tutorials and topic videos and things like that, which I'm actually looking forward to because I'm starting to get tired of hearing my own self ramble on. So I think you'll all find it a welcome relief. But I am, what's today? Today is Thursday. So I am still planning, most likely, yeah, because I think that's the next, my parents' anniversary is coming up, but I think that's actually the next Saturday. But I am still planning on doing another live video because everybody's really loving those, especially since they are able to, everybody is really enjoying being able to chit-chat with each other in the chat bars. I hope that YouTube fixes their beta thing so that we can actually see the chats when it's over, because a lot of people are actually going back and watching it. You know, if they missed it, they're going back and watching it, but they can only see me talking to, you know, imaginary chat things because they can't see the questions or they can't see what people are saying. So it's a little weird, you know, looking back at it, because I just am responding to things that nobody can see. But and so I hope that, because it's the chat does show beta on it, so I'm hoping that maybe once it comes to full, you know, mode where they're offering it as a full mode, that will stay. I did look it up because people did ask, and I did do some Google searching on it, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, that it doesn't stay. So that is, you know, not just us having that difficulty, and a lot of people have put tickets in saying, you know, you've got to fix this before this goes entirely live, because, you know, you want to be able to, especially for the people doing it, because, you know, I miss so much. I mean, Patrick did a fantastic job of letting me know, you know, questions after, because when I'm talking, I can't see it, and then I miss people's questions. But I would love to, when it's all done, to be able to go back and see all the stuff that I missed, because I can see the chat bar just scrolling on over to the right, and I've missed out on all that, and I can't even see that when it's done. So I do hope that they fix that soon. But the chat part is a nice feature, because you guys all seem to really enjoy being able to actually interact versus just like leaving comments. So that will be, I will tomorrow and Saturday morning, like I've been doing, you know, put like an Instagram and a Facebook thing with the exact time and everything, so that you're aware of what that will be beforehand, so that you have time. But that seems that round 4 o'clock seems to work both for the people in Europe and for the people over here. It's not too late in Europe, it's not too early here. It seems to be the best kind of midpoint, so we'll probably leave it at that. So let's go ahead and draw a quick card. Actually, probably with this deck I'll do 2, because it's a little more Lenormand, although I have them all whopper jawed. This is with the Earthbound Oracle, which, as you know, is always on my table, because it's just really good to clarify things. So I do use it a lot, and it always sits on my table. So let's just pull these real quick. I don't know what Isabel was just doing. She got herself under the couch a couple times today, which I don't know why, because she is too fat to be under the couch. In fact, a couple times, you know how you guys hear when she does her race carring around the apartment. There's been a couple times I've actually seen her race car into the, thinking she was going to go under the couch, but she couldn't fit under the couch and she got stuck. So she really needs to not do that. I'm not sure if she just like wiggled her way under there or what, but she was definitely under there. So I'm going to grab 2 cards here. And so the first card that I pulled is this one here, which is the air. So this is the element sign for air. I love that this deck has the elements here. So it's set up like the elemental signature. We got the triangle with the, I don't know if you can see that there's a line going through it. So it's the traditional elemental sign for air. And they have one of these for each of the elements in this deck, and I love it. So air is like the suit of swords. That's the mind, the realm of the mind. That's the realm of our intellect. That's the realm also of communication. Obviously, when we're expressing what's in our mind, that is a form of communication. And then the other one that we got was, and I can't read it with these glasses on, is the Terra one. This has shown up actually a couple times in readings, and I quite love it, because you have the mind card, which is way up here, like in the head, and where we can get all crazy and stuff, whereas the Terra is earth. And so that is much more grounding. So since this came up first, and then we had this come up after it, that's kind of a message to me that says that some of us out there may be having way too much going on in the head. You know, our head's going, it's not shutting down. And the tarot card is kind of saying, okay, it's time to ground it. You know, it's time to bring it down a notch. Like, don't let our brains go crazy and take over. I also really like this card because we have, you know, the earth with the mountains and things. But if you look at the stream, see how it goes down and under and kind of pools down here? I really like that because I really feel like that shows sort of like the inner reserves, kind of digging deep into our internal reserves and really touching bases with our roots. And it almost, even though we have sun here, right, it gives me the kind of the moon sense, to where almost like that subconscious, because water generally for me is always speaking of the subconscious and kind of digging deeper and kind of pulling from that well, so going into that. Now, somebody on Instagram is doing a chakra challenge for February, which I will be doing on my Instagram. And that's going to be interesting because, you know, I keep saying I don't really know a lot about them, and I'm hoping by the end of that month I'll know more about it. But that's that sense of really getting down into the belly instead of being so much here in the head. And so a lot of us that are on these kinds of channels or interested in tarot, we do lots and lots and lots of thinking and lots of thinking about connections and puzzling out the cards and learning about the cards and learning about this and learning about stone, until our brain just going, and sometimes I think you just need to set all that aside and kind of go inward, recenter, and kind of dig from the, you know, from the belly versus letting the brain take over too much. So that's what I think those say. If you have any suggestions as to what that says to you, please put those into the comment box below. I loved seeing everybody's comments on their favorite scary movies. I thought there were some great ones there, and a couple people who said they just don't do scary movies, but there are some great suggestions, a couple I hadn't seen yet that I'll definitely have to see, so that was fun to see those. But I hope that you all have a fantastic night tonight, and for those of you I know that watch it in the morning, have a really wonderful day today, and I will be seeing you all tomorrow for 3 more days. All right, talk to you later.